The Trump National Golf Club in beautiful Rancho Palos Verdes, California. Just a few clicks down the Pacific Coast Highway from Malibu, and a hop, skip, and a jump south by southwest of bustling Los Angeles. A match over the back 9 holes between the winner of 27 professional tournaments, Australian Adam Scott, owner of golf's most natural swing, and a veteran player known for his win in the Open at St. Andrews and his incredible comeback victory in the PGA Championship, Arkansas native son John Daly, who became the first professional golfer to average more than 300 yards per drive in a season. To analyze today's match for us, the legendary little pro, Eddie Merritt, and golf personality, Gary Williams.
This is going to be very interesting.
And they're contrasting styles, contrasting personalities. We should have some fun with those two.
This is the Charity Back 9, a series of international matches played on the world's most famous golf courses. This week, Trump National Golf Club in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. Southern California is home to some of the world's finest golf courses, and Trump National is no exception. A beautifully manicured course, blessed with that famous Southern California weather. Look, it's head caddy Michael Anderson, prepping his boys for a hard day's work.
I want the tees in between each groove. There. Information at the ready.
And there's Old Glory. She's a beaut, ain't she? And a great indicator of wind direction. And wind is just one of many challenges this course holds in store. For Trump National itself is internationally known for its challenging terrain. An avid surfer, Adam Scott must be enjoying his time on this south-facing coastline. And here it is, the green blazer itself, complete with the prettiest hanger I ever did see, Adam's wife, Poppy.
Kids are here. They're enjoying themselves back at the hotel.
Back at the hotel.
I believe there's a swimming pool.
There's Arkansas native John Daly, giving a local fan a thrill. Though he has become known for a series of international boners, John Daly is a true blue pro golf journeyman. And there's John's brand new bride, Norita. Norita is from Cambodia, a tiny country just west of South Vietnam.
Really excited to be here in Rancho Palos Verdes. Really excited to play this tournament.
And now to interview Adam and John, the winner of every golf tournament there is, Jim Shea.
We're here at the first tee waiting for our match to get underway. We'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that our players are competing today for a total of $15,000 in prize money. $10,000 to the winner's charity, $5,000 to the loser, and $7,500 to each in the event of a tie. And now the players approach the first tee. Mr. Adam Scott in his mock turtleneck and Mr. John Daly in his eye-popping attire. Gentlemen, so good to have you with us here today. Now, Adam, everyone knows you're a native of Australia, and I'm curious how this course stacks up to the ones in your homeland.
Well, sure. I look out here and I see the same Pacific Ocean I grew up looking at in Australia.
Oh, that sounds like an idyllic childhood. Over to Long John Daly. You have been striking the ball extremely well, haven't you?
I'm pretty proud of some of my drives. I just hope some of them go a little bit closer to the hole there.
Indeed. Well, gentlemen, if you're ready to tee off, we are. We want to wish you the best of luck on this very difficult course. So if you'll step over to the tee box, we'll have the coin toss and get things underway.
Adam Scott won the coin toss, officiated by golf legend Arthur Boyce. Then it was hands over their hearts, paying respect to Old Glory before kicking off the game. Playing the back 9, the players start at hole 10, a 440-yard par 4. With a ceremonial tee-off from retired great Walt Parrish, we now join our sports commentators, Gary Williams and Eddie Merritt.
And welcome to what we think is going to be a very special day of golf. Gary Williams alongside the legendary Eddie Merritt. Today, these two men, both major champions, John Daly and, of course, Adam Scott, they have a very different approach to the way they play the game of golf.
They certainly do, and it'll be fun to see the contrast depicted today.
Beautiful.
It's a wonderful start, is it not?
Great shot.
Hey.
Yeah, it's just the short par 4 and play it out to the right, the conservative route, but maybe John would make an opening statement and maybe try to take this green on.
All right,
Okay.
Just wonder if that's going to clear the ravine.
Well done.
Indeed it did. So we're off. You know, Eddie, this opening hole, John's got about 100 yards uphill. He's got to deal with that big yawning bunker that's fronting the green.
It's a golf hole or a desert?
He quizzed me about the bunkers, Gary, and I said, John, you don't even see those bunkers. All you
not.
see is that flag stick there, and the flag stick is yearning you to send that ball to me. So he's got that flag stick hopefully fixed in mind, and he's going to swing accordingly. A little bit late in the timing is all, John, just a little late in the timing. So you went to the opposite field. Not like something immovable like a rock.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about pitching, Lee?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Now, Eddie, Adams second after a wonderful tee shot. He has missed this fairway. What does he have to navigate here for his second?
You make 2 allowances when you have an off-balance lie like that. 1 for your sake of balance, and 2 for the gravity pull on the ball. But I think that's a little advanced for Adam at this point. All right, a good swing.
Pretty good result
Good
for that
swing.
difficult
Good
lie.
swing. Good swing from a tough lie. Well done.
Now, Eddie, John's third here on a similar line as Adam played his second in a delicate little uphill pitch here.
And that's all right.
He caught it just a touch heavy, didn't he?
And the reason being, like most golfers, he tried to help the ball into the air. And that actually caused him to hit the shot fast. And for the same reason, he could hit it thin, because he dropped the club down before the ball in order to come up through the ball. And when the club is down, he hit it fat. When it comes up, he hits it thin.
Hit me with that
It's
pitcher,
possible to hit both a fat and a
Hit me
thin
with that
shot in one swing. Perish the thought.
Feel like I'm in on that baseball field in Dardanelle.
I don't follow.
John gets another opportunity. That's a great thing about this game. We have more chances.
And the one thing he's always done is he's obviously very upset with the result of that shot. He's always been a fast player, has he not?
Okay.
And this is only the opening hole.
I hope you brought your cot with you.
All right.
That's not
That
too
was a
bad
good
right
swing.
there.
Just a little bit late going through L.A.
Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah.
Now, Adam took a little respite. Gary, I don't know where he went, but he's back on the scene now.
Do you like that one, or do you want this one?
Of course, Adam is
A couple options here.
a very private
A little soft
person.
chip up there.
Got married a couple years ago, and nobody even knew it.
It's a beautiful day out here.
He does have plenty of green to work with here.
Beautiful day.
I'd like to hear what's going on in that head of his now, what he's reciting to himself. You think he's doing a Hail Mary, or do you think he's citing the preamble? Interesting what goes through the head of a golfer at times like this.
It's interesting.
Now all of a sudden he's had a change of heart. He thinks he'll go for another club and maybe play a different type shot.
Want to pitch one?
Yeah, he's always,
Okay.
you know, you've always spoken about the relationship that he had with Steve Williams and how Adam played his best with Stevie on the bag.
He sure did. Sure has been.
It's a very interesting pre-shot routine.
Faked me a little bit there, he did. There you go. Wonderful
All
shot.
right, fancy pants.
Beautiful shot by Adam Scott. Just tip your cap, Adam. That's all you have to do. There you are. Perfect. Beautiful.
He'll have that for par. Well, Eddie John's got this lengthy 25-footer for double
Pacific
bogey.
looks nice today, huh?
Not the start he was
does.
looking for.
We'll go for a swim.
Because he started off fairly well, but things have gone downhill for him since then.
Looks like I
But
might break a little left.
Intent on
Breaking
holding
left,
this
huh?
putt. Yeah. He's got all the manifestations anyway beforehand.
Eddie, this putt has got a lot of break in it, doesn't it?
Looks like it's going to swing pretty good from right to left. Yes, it is.
And he has hit that awfully firm.
Good putt, John.
I think what you have to figure on this golf course is where the water is.
There you go,
Things
mark
do
that.
tend to break
A little too
toward
much
the
wind
water.
on that one.
Yeah. Fast.
And that's one of the reasons this ball didn't break
These are
as
fast
much
greens,
as it
though.
looked
It's
there.
hard California sand clay.
What's that?
This is a hard California sand clay.
Adam has got about 6 feet straight up the hill so far.
John, it's still your putt.
Oh, it's mine?
There's an idea.
Don't tell me how to play golf, man.
Always playing to the crowd, isn't he?
I like
All right.
that.
What is this, 7?
Yeah.
On my way to a snowman up here.
You can do it, Daly.
You shut your mouth there, Scott.
Get in there.
Good roll, John.
Left it short. He said it himself, though. He looks like he's going
It was
to make an 8
Finish it
on
out.
this opening hole. It's always good.
I was glad to be out here. Thanks so much.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Uh-oh.
And he is standing right in Adam's line, which is
Emily Post wouldn't approve of that, would she,
no,
Gary?
she would not.
All right, John.
Now, interesting to note, Eddie, he's got that long putter, and as we all know, soon enough, that's going to be an illegal instrument in the game.
Not long for this world.
No, it isn't.
And Gary, we were discussing that. To me, it's very simple why it's illegal. Because you fasten one end of the putter at the grip end, and you putt with the other end of the club, but technically you're not swinging the whole club. So that can't be a legal stroke, any way you look at it.
And the USGA and the RNA made what I would assume would be a hard decision. Now, Adam, this is one of the most interesting ways to read a green that I've ever seen. Have you ever seen anything like this?
There's a word for it in Australia. God knows what it means in the U.S. But they look at the moon, they look at the sun, they consider the wind, the slope, and they hold something up and they look at it with one eye closed.
How many meetings is it going to take?
Enough with the ribbing, John.
Gamesmanship.
Just a half a ball to the left.
Yep.
These two men couldn't be more different. Backgrounds, personality.
They really couldn't. In fact,
I don't think I've ever seen anyone take longer over a 6-foot putt.
there we go. We gave him a read of a ball to the right of the hole. I'm not sure I gave him enough, but we shall see.
Appears this is slightly uphill, and he has gunned that.
Oh, boy.
Not good.
Looked as though he tried to take the break out of the putt by hammering it so strongly.
That putter just doesn't look comfortable in his hands.
No, it doesn't. Whoops.
Oh, mercy.
Whoops. Whoops.
That is a 3-putt from 6 feet. And opening 6.
Let me see that putter. Let me see that putter.
Now John wants to see the putter.
It's regulation? Regulation putter?
At the end of hole 10, Daly at 6 over par and Scott at 2 over par. On hole 11, finding the deep bunkers in front usually spells bogey or worse. The ocean beyond the green makes for some difficult decisions, so club selection is critical.
Eddie, we've moved on to the par 3 11th, 225 yards. What a gorgeous view. He's clearly laying up.
Was a tropical heat wave up here?
A little hot under the collar, huh, John?
Hey, maybe.
What club are you using?
Hey! Come on, man.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were...
That shot looked like your shot.
Adams' ball was up against the tree line, forcing him to swing lefty.
Whiff. That's a big whiff.
That was what I call a practice.
Yeah.
In my home country.
Australia, they give you an extra swing there. I guess so. And strike two, batter up, 5.
Yeah, we're in baseball country out here, aren't we?
That's right.
I love baseball.
I like boomerang. Is that what you play in Australia, boomerang sports?
Sure.
Very interesting dialogue they have going.
Strike 3, you're out of there. Woo!
All right, here we go.
Doesn't seem to do any better left-handed versus right-handed.
Well, he moved it
All right,
that
I got
time.
it.
John's giving a kind of a mocking applause.
My turn?
Not yet.
By
Still my
my
turn.
count,
Your turn.
Adam is laying 5.
I think you hit it right on the nail. I think it is 5.
He stood on this tee with a 4-shot lead after one hole, and he may be giving it all back right here.
That's hole number 1. Shit.
All right, we got that.
Part way to Catalina, that one.
Woo!
We'll play. Go for it. We'll be
What are
down
you
there.
thinking here?
We got a little wind in our face. How do you feel back there with that 6? You feel good with that, or you
Felt
want to?
all right.
All right. Why don't we try the?
Here, let me fire it up. Whatever you want.
Let's try the 8. I think that'll get it nice and high.
Give me that sweet 8.
Yeah.
Sweet 8. 4 and 4 and 4. 4 plus 4.
Hey, what does the
All right,
ball
there's a
tend to
women's
do
tee,
out of
so,
this type of grass with this lie?
This is actually a pretty good lie because the grass is fairly heavy, but it's also a little wet, so.
Oh,
He's
right in the
going
bunker.
in the same direction
That's
as
short,
Adam
John.
Scott, but he stayed up
Oh,
on that plateau.
It's not so bad.
Could be worse.
Little breeze has kicked up this morning, hasn't it?
A little bit. Yeah, it tends to do that around
Yeah, that's good.
mid-morning. I guess
like
it is
that.
mid-morning. No, I think Adam just got the signal that it's his turn to go from John Daly.
And he is lying 6
Adam and
and has to play over that giant yawning bunker that's fronting the screen. I know what he normally plays from down there. And that potentially could have been another whiff, which would be his 4th on this hole.
When he stands to the ball, he's got nice posture.
He does.
That's about the end of it.
That's a good one.
You're right.
I'm going to hit it over here, right?
Yeah, I think stay to the left of the bunker if you
Playing
can,
into
John.
this breeze.
Oh, a little short. Not bad,
Slid
though.
underneath it.
Well, better than in the bunker, right?
All right.
Right.
Should I stay with
Short.
the pitching wedge?
Want it. I like that club for this. You can try sandwich if you want. A little more loft, maybe a little higher.
Yeah, I don't think it's occurred to these two players, Gary. What causes the distance the ball goes.
Mm-hmm.
When a ball's sitting down in the rough,
I think they think if they just choose a club, the club itself makes the ball go that distance. They lose sight of the fact that they've got to apply the strength.
Adam is,
That's buried.
he's really out of sorts right now. He looks confused.
Give me that Sandy. He was joking.
It hasn't been easy to keep count on this hole, but by my count, he is laying 7.
Not good.
And again, if that was another whiff, that was his 5th on this hole. And that would be his 9th.
Not good, number 2.
Give it another wrap. All right.
He's He's still away because he advanced it about 2 inches.
Come on, it's not your son, it's a golf ball. We're beating it on the head.
There he goes.
A little too much pepper on that one. Ball just took a swim in the Pacific, man. Maybe it's going surfing.
Did it really get out there?
I think so, man.
Over the green.
Tough in the rough.
Yeah, try to get right under.
Tough in the rough, man.
Try to get right under that ball, John.
I'm gonna get under it. It's deep in the grass.
Come on and come in behind the ball, just nice and gentle under it.
Interesting,
right under
he's
it.
taking instruction from his caddy.
Right under it.
You always talk to your caddy that way?
I'm just gonna wait a second while he talks.
Well,
You done
that's his
talking?
second time on this hole.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were going.
Well, wait till I get in a golf position, and then that's when you.
In Australia, we just talk the whole time.
It's a more social country. More social than America.
Oh, that was sideways.
Damn! You know,
John.
There's a dailyism for you.
That's the temper that we've come to know.
John, you want to borrow one of my clubs?
No, I don't use those backwards clubs. I use those backwards clubs, man.
They're not backwards. I was just standing differently.
I'm just gonna pop it up in the air. No!
John just played his
Shanked it.
shot sideways. Joe Dye is rolling over somewhere, Eddie.
Okay.
Still in the sand, John.
Yeah, at least I'm not in this sand area.
You keep that, John. I'm gonna rake this while you go.
Thanks, man.
Well, the tour players play these bunker shots so well, it's hard to believe how good they are. Good shot.
All right, John.
Good shot.
Look who's out of the sand.
Very good
Good shot,
result,
John.
and the crowd loved it, and that's his third club toss.
I don't know what the world record is, but he's on his way.
He's approaching it. Fascinating to see him drop
Cheater!
onto the green. And I think John is referencing that putter, which will be banned soon enough. That's pretty good speed. He's going to leave himself about 3 feet. And right in the middle. But I believe with the penalty stroke that was assessed to John in the bunker, he is now putting for 8.
Good roll, John.
And that's a pretty good
Good roll,
effort
John.
right
Good
there.
stroke.
Maybe the first bow I've ever seen for a double-digit result on a par 3. Both men really struggled on that hole.
Hole 12. 530 yards out, this downhill hole is reachable in 2 for most players.
That might have been his best practice swing of the day, for whatever that's worth. That was a good swing.
All right, John. Your eyes on it.
His pre-shot routine has been different with every swing. This is peculiar.
All right. Wonderful shot. Great shot.
Big ball.
Splits the fairway.
Guess that stupid thing you did paid off.
John hit his ball out of bounds, which sent him packing. Even the pros have to search for their ball sometimes.
Letty, John's drive, he missed this fairway by about 450 yards, but he got a pretty favorable drop, did he not?
Friendly drop.
And it appears that John is going to hit 3-wood.
Everybody
He's
ready?
got in excess of 270 yards to this green.
There you
Nice,
go.
John.
Good swing. Good
Hang
swing.
on.
Great swing, John.
Nice. That's the longest hold of a finish I've seen in some time. But
Very nice.
Excellent shot.
It's in play. Very nice shot.
Thanks, man. Seemed a little.
Now, Eddie, Adam Scott is set up. He has split the fairway with
He really did split the
fabulous drive.
And he has a habit of deliberating over the shot. If we put a stopwatch to this shot, Gary, how long do you think he might take?
Well, we might need an hourglass.
Here we go.
Woo! I felt that breeze.
It's about the 5th whiff he's had today. We've played 2 holes.
There we go. Good shot. Good swing. There he goes.
He is. He's laying up. Got a little heavy, but nonetheless,
Good looking swing.
in very good shape.
Good shot. Good stroke, Mr. Scott.
Thanks, John.
Some cute girls in this gallery, huh?
Only girl I see is my wife.
Oh, yeah, I see her too.
Yeah.
She's nice looking. Got those big legs I like.
Adams played 2 very nice shots here. He has about 155 to the front.
About
Jesus,
a
this guy's
10-mile hit,
good.
and what a beautiful golf shot he just hit.
My ball's dirty.
Okay, we can't pick it up.
Can't touch it?
No, you're gonna have to play it as is.
We're going to play where it lies.
John won 2 major championships. He doesn't know that he can't touch his golf ball.
He's selected maybe an 8-iron, would you say?
He almost thinks the spectators are mocking him. I don't think this young man needs to run in to identify his golf ball. It went about 9 feet, but that kid's just doing his job.
He's doing his job.
That's well struck.
Better.
It's going to come down to the short game on this
That's
hole.
what I wanted. Good shot.
That's not too bad.
Good shot.
Leave himself uphill.
Good shot for Scott. Good Scott.
8 feet.
Want some good scotch?
Playing 5 right now. They're approaching this hole.
Excuse me. Stepped in my lie.
Oh, boy.
Stepped in my lie.
Excuse me, no, I did not.
There's a dent right here. There's a dent right there.
I see no dent there.
That's a stroke, right?
Hold on, guys. This is for charity, remember?
John's confused again about the rules. That's purely etiquette. There's no rules violation for
Adam, you have to
walking
watch
in
this,
someone's
okay?
line.
We're going to play it. We're going to play
Hey,
it. Guys, we're going to play it, all right?
How
Let's go.
about
Maybe we should just play the game.
They should shut up. Get a life.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Damn! See it hit that bump?
It was a nice try, John. I might try the putter. Yeah.
Will you a trade?
You want to trade
supposed
my
to be
putter?
a friendly match.
Well, do I have one of my own?
You want to putt with my putter? I'll let you putt.
It's all right. I think I've
If we're
got
going
one.
to break the rules, why not break them all?
Left that one in the trunk.
Permitted to use his fellow competitors.
Can I use yours, John?
Yeah, sure, man. I give no.
Is this
Gordon
just the
has
one I
a
use?
putt
this is the
here
only
for
one we
legitimate
This is the one we
five,
have, yeah.
not counting the whiff.
We can try to get
Not
another
counting the
Am I
whiff.
allowed to use?
I try to be a
the
nice
other
guy.
players?
Guys, have to use your own club,
Yeah, you should use your own club.
okay?
Well, it's all for charity. I thought.
These kids better like this money they're getting. We're generating.
Okay, they will. They will.
Now this is straight up the hill. 8 feet. And it looks like it may want to work just a little bit to the
A
left.
little bit from right to left, it will.
Oh, my.
Boo! Not good, Daddy.
Notice it
What's
didn't break
happening,
much.
Daddy?
Left edge. Left edge. So I shoot a little left.
Just a little bit to the left.
His caddy is telling him there's just a smidge of movement in this putt.
What happened to your short game, Daddy?
Come on.
Can't put the ball in the hole.
You're up now.
This is, he three-putted the first.
Oh!
You know,
Nice
he
tap
went to
in.
that long putter. He can't putt any worse with the conventional length putter, can he?
Almost looked as though he didn't want to damage his ball. He was so tender with it.
Good job. You got a few good shots there.
There you go.
God damn it.
Hey, don't curse.
Looks good, John. Maybe a little bit of a break to the left.
Break a little bit from right to left, Gary, but not much. Look at
You said
that.
break to the left.
Look at that. It hardly broke.
My ball's all dirty.
John's been complaining about his ball being dirty. Now he does know
My
he
balls
can
are
clean
dirty.
it once it's on the green surface. At least I thought he did.
Did you lose count for the scores? So did I.
Great shot, John.
All right.
Thanks.
And John is not happy.
Be 12-8 on that one.
Watch yourself. Oh, I'm sick of this small ball. Bullshit!
On the 13th hole, a long 445 yards, Daly and Scott hacked their way to the fairway. Hole 14 is a beautiful yet nasty par 5, and was dubbed Inferno Verde, or the Green Hell, by greenskeeper Levenstein.
It took 5 years to get this course playing right, but now it's playing right, and it's a winner.
Well, Eddie, we've reached the
Looking good,
uphill
man.
par 5, 14, 461 yards.
Feeling good.
This is a very intense match. Adam Scott has a one-shot lead.
He won the last par 5, and it was not likely that he would, but he had 3 fabulous shots, not counting the whiff, right to the edge of the green. Oh, my God.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
God.
Whoa.
God. Hey.
Oh, man.
Eddie, there's a term in our game called out of bounds.
Woo!
Friend of yours, John?
Where's
drink to
Payne
that,
Stewart
man.
when we need him the most? He would have put a flying tackle on that guy.
Wow. He had a woman's butt.
That was a guy, right?
That was a guy with a woman's butt.
Now, which buddy of yours was that, John?
That was Danny. He's on my football team.
All in good fun, folks. All in good fun.
Yeah, man.
Anything to
Counterculture's
break the
alive.
concentration.
That got hauled ass, man.
Anyone else before I take my shot?
Any ladies want to get naked?
Eddie, how do you refocus after something like that?
That's a first for me.
Ground ball.
Straight. It's straight enough.
Straight.
Maybe.
Up. It's a broken tee, man.
Yes, he did. He did.
Sorry about that.
Which is a good sign.
Supposed to break it on the swing, not when you put it in the ground.
Here we go. Perfect tee up.
Yes, it was.
Now, Eddie, you think with John Daly's length, he could challenge those bunkers on the right-hand side. Downwind. He's checked the wind
I think
on every hole.
he can carry the bunker. He certainly can. There you go.
Nice.
If he should make that
Thanks, Peanut
swing.
Gallery. I don't need any more comments.
That was,
comments.
That was a great
Thanks.
swing, and
What?
Thanks, Eddie.
knocked the tee over.
Gotta get my Zen zone.
Your what?
My Zen zone. Doesn't involve you, man. It's personal.
Oh, that's a problem, Eddie.
Oh, hey, it's out, John, right there.
Oh, it kicked out.
There you go.
Oh! Whoa! Hey, I beat you, man.
Hey.
Wow. That's a golf
got a friend
guy.
out there.
Hey,
Gotta
John,
thank the
John,
golf guys.
John, who you got in the trees over
Got a
there?
friend,
That's
John.
my friend in there. It's my friend in there.
Might have been knocked out by the streaker.
Yeah, was that your buddy that ran through?
Yeah, I might have popped in his butt and then pooped out.
Away we go.
Eddie Adam is going to hit a fairway wood.
It's got that old persimmon M.T. McGregor.
Oh,
And
that's a stroke. That's a stroke.
He could probably play that again.
No,
His
why are you
yardage
looking at
hadn't
the club?
changed
You think
much.
the club's
And in the trade, we call that quitting on the shot, Gary. His arms quit swinging the club to the ball. His club head kept going, but his arms quit swinging the handles.
I need to dig in there a little bit more. Sure.
Have you seen two players bring each other down to a greater degree than we are witnessing this afternoon?
They haven't exactly brought the best out of one another. have they?
They have not.
Not 6. It's
It looks like Adam has drawn a very poor lie for
Yet
his
to
third.
come. Yet to come.
Come on, Mr. Scott. This ain't Star Trek. Give it a kiss while you're at it.
That one's for you, John.
Hey, man, I know it.
Okay.
Well,
Gorgeous.
Okay.
at least we can say he advanced it.
He did. There you go.
For some odd reason, he's proud of that.
A round of applause.
Good?
Not bad.
Not good, not bad, not good.
Nah, it's pretty good. I'm feeling real good.
I'm known for my long ball, so
Take it easy.
you take it easy, man. Australian weirdo? I didn't say that. Yeah, get on that, man. Shut up. It's not gonna think about it. It's gonna hit it.
There you go.
4!
There you go. Good swing. Get out of that bunker. Get out of that bunker.
Not good.
Oh,
Well, he's in that fairway bunker.
too bad.
And the obligatory club toss.
Better than you.
Yeah.
Ah,
Have we
On the
we
green,
count up the
pal.
number of tosses today?
You're on the green. Yeah, I guess you're doing good.
Now, Adam is going to play his fourth here. This is a hanging lie. The ball's way above his feet.
Yeah.
To say this could go anywhere,
All right.
we could say this about every shot he hits.
Should go a little left, but all right.
God
I'd
damn
say
it.
Nice little dipsy doodle.
That's a net gain.
God damn it.
2 feet.
God damn it is right. You gotta put it behind you.
Okay. Okay.
Swing and a miss.
Okay.
Oh!
All right. Okay.
I want to fix that
There
pivot.
you go.
Let's get that divot
Pretty
replaced.
chunky. Thanks.
Well,
Nice shot.
Thank you.
after the whiff, Eddie.
He got the ball and a little turf to go with it, but he made a good swing through the ball.
Looks like we got a double bunker here, so that's double trouble.
Yeah, why don't you just take the sand wedge, hit it out towards Adam's ball, play it safe.
I'm not gonna play it safe, Pee Wee. I'm gonna play it dangerous. Get your f***ing head on. I love that
I don't know
guy.
if it's easy or hard to caddy for John Daly, Eddie.
No practice swings.
I bet the other John Daly has been through a few caddies in his day.
Again, he's grounding his club. And
Look out, idiot!
this is somebody who's won majors, and he's breaking rules left.
No!
There he goes. That's close.
Nice shot, John.
Number 41.
It wasn't good.
I was joking.
Yeah, I know that.
His job to carry his bag.
Whatever, Chan.
I'll say.
Nice day.
Eddie, we started the broadcast talking about how beautiful Adam Scott's golf swing is. What in the world has happened?
Oh, boy.
Whoa!
I'm surprised they got the club face onto the ball.
That's a nice shot for a guy that's from an island that's inhabited by prisoners.
It's a continent, John.
It's an island nation. It's not a continent.
South America, an island?
Don't ground the club, John.
South America's not real, dude.
Don't ground the club, John.
What?
Don't ground the club.
You shut up. Know what I'm doing. I'm playing it.
I want to listen to your boy there.
Playing it real. He's not my boy. My boy don't talk to me. Oh!
It's a pretty good out.
That's good.
Out of danger.
Certainly appears that John has grounded his club again. He's broken every rule in the game.
There's a lady scorekeeper out here.
Wild there, didn't I?
She's going to need a different multiplication table in order to keep up with these guys.
She needs an abacus.
Get up.
There you go.
That's it.
Made it.
Get over.
The crowd seems to like him very much.
Okay, very good.
No, you're
Nice
good.
shot, John.
Good. I couldn't see it.
Came over the hazard, which is good.
Good, good.
Good shot.
Thanks, baby. Oh, there's Adam's ball.
Pick a spot you like.
I think he chose that club because he's used all the others. I think he found one in there he hadn't used today. It looks like he has more clubs than he needs, but we shall see.
The ball.
That was a good shot, man.
Pick out.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh!
I think he was making allowance for his miscontact.
I think you're right.
Belly smoke. I got a bunker here, bunker there, bunker everywhere.
You want to probably play to the left of that top bunker? No?
Mm-hmm.
I can't find
Play that left.
Huh?
Well, Eddie, he can barely see the top of this flagstick.
Yeah, play left.
About 100 yards.
100 yards, a little uphill, a little help from the wind, so going to play right at 100 yards.
Well, he started this hole 27 over par. He's probably had 27 cigarettes in 5 holes.
Oh, it's nice out here. Rancho Palos Verdes, it's always nice weather. It's like
And at least 3
always
beers.
like this.
Yeah.
At least.
Kind of like back home in Dardanelle, but there's a humid.
Yeah.
Damn.
He could probably play the same club. His yardage hadn't changed, Eddie.
Stay in my zone.
Advanced it a foot.
You think it went that far?
Mother.
Advanced it 1 foot.
All right.
Okay.
Considering the previous shot, that is a victory.
There he goes. He's got those cigarettes going, too. He might burn himself up if he's not careful.
John's got a clear advantage here with all the trouble that Adam's been in on this hole. But he's got this back hole location, a lot of contour on this green to deal with.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
The weather in Australia, anything like it is here?
Not right now. It's winter over there, like I said earlier.
Well, it's not true. It's winter there when it's summer here?
Yeah, because it's below the equator. So it's the whole other side of the planet.
In the summertime, it's nice. It's like this, except maybe a little warmer.
How about humidity?
Not a whole lot of humidity down in Australia.
Thinks it's a continent, too. Like South America or North America? You think
Odd time to have a conversation. You'd think he'd be focused. with a chance to take a big lead here.
Makes you want to get out your Charles Atlas, doesn't it?
Right.
That was a pretty good swing he just practiced. If you could put that one in play. Whoa.
Hey, it works for me, man.
Looks like he might get away with
As long
that.
as it's on that
If
sweet
it's
green
just
chip.
a touch.
No!
That's down in the bunker, and there goes another golf club. And oh, mercy, look at this.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it.
No, he's got it actually in pretty good shape. If he.
I'm not sure that we're in safe. Well, he just grounded his club. Even I think the two guys named Adam Scott and John Daly would have some reasonable understanding of the rules.
What's up, man?
Try, give it one more try, Adam.
Why not?
Give it one more try. Give it one more go, Adam.
Boom!
This is a record-setting performance. There's a reasonable chance that he could record a score on this hole. You know, blackjack's usually a good thing, Eddie. But not on one hole.
Almost. He almost got it out of there.
So supplanted them. Superior races.
Gross violations. Well, he's breaking. He's trying.
Hit it and quit
trying to break every rule imaginable.
There we go. There little does he realize he's
John.
testing the hazard.
You're grounding your club.
Nope.
You can't ground your club in the sand.
You hit?
Yeah.
This is
not famous for my sand play, but I'm gonna
Pop it.
give it a try. I'm gonna get right under it.
Right under it. Put
Slow
that,
play.
Sand right behind the ball. Don't ground the club, John.
Horrible ball striking.
Get the tee.
No! Sit!
There you go.
Clean that.
Actually, he should deem that a success.
This is when my mountain climbing skills come into play.
Yeah.
No.
Proper way to play this shot, Gary, is to swing
We'll do
into
this
the
here.
hill, through the ball,
what are you,
into the
climbing
side of
Everest
that
over
hill.
there, Daly?
No.
Most players don't do that.
No.
They play under the ball,
Trying to hit this shot. It's not
upward
easy.
through the ball, behind the
Want
ball.
me to send a Sherpa
None of
up
that
there?
works.
All right,
Help ya?
all right. I don't know what that is, but I think that's funny.
All right, take your shot.
Threw the ball right into the side of the hill, John. Right into the side. That's not too bad.
All right.
Not too bad.
Progress.
What?
Progress.
Yep, you're out of this trap.
Pretty straight putt, Adam.
All right.
Okay.
Uphill, so give it a good hit.
Hey, I don't know about this putter.
Oh, come on. We've been over this so many times.
Hey, I don't know about this putter.
This is a perfectly legal putter.
Can we get a look? Can we get a read on this?
Judge.
Can we get a read on this? I don't think this is
For somebody who's
Come on
broken
over.
every rule today, he's actually
See, my putter.
For the third time.
My putter's a simple, nice.
bringing this up
This
again.
putter,
Putter, I don't know.
This isn't a putter. It's a sand wedge, but you know what I'm talking about. That's.
Well, it's not illegal as of right now.
But they're making rules. Soon they're making rules, so this will be illegal in like 2 weeks. So you win, but not in 2 weeks. So no matter what, in
But-
2 weeks from now, I win.
John,
Okay,
he can use it today.
May
You
we
can
hear
use
that
it
one
today.
more time, Ref? May we
Trying
hear
to
that one
do
more
this
time?
thing, Gary, with a certain amount of
Use it
honor.
today.
I
In 2
believe.
weeks, I win.
Will you please pick up my putter for me?
I don't know.
Well, any
Is that
attempts
a
at
putter
honor.
or a hockey stick?
It sure is.
Looks like a
We're
hockey
left on the
Sure
first
is.
tee.
Yeah, well, it's an illegal
On your
thing.
honor.
Oh, is that
Your
my
honor.
real putter? Hey, what are you doing, man? Hey, hey, drop it. You're an extension of me, man. You're an extension of me. And if you embarrass me,
Can we do
you
something
embarrass
about this,
yourself.
Ref?
Now, John and his
John,
caddy are getting
sportsmanship,
into it.
please.
Well, does that count for a stroke? Because I'm not a sportsman, dude.
John.
I wouldn't be surprised if that young man quit before the round
John,
ends.
who are we playing for today?
You want sports without games and shit?
All right, can I take my shot, please?
Have fun, but it's not fun.
I don't know if Adam advanced that more than 5 feet.
See,
That's
It's
it.
almost like he's
Works.
afraid to hit
Not
it.
very well,
You
apparently.
tried.
If you're going to cheat, might as well be good when you do it. Well, give me that. There we go. That's good.
There you
That's
go.
pretty good. That's good. Yeah,
Is that
I
good?
said that's pretty good based
think
on what
that's
we've
pretty
seen on
good.
this
Better
hole.
than
That
yours.
is one of the greatest shots in the history of the game by comparison.
Slap shot.
Go in there. Not bad.
Pretty good speed,
not
Eddie.
bad. That was a good putt.
Keep going.
That was a good putt.
I'll let you tap that in as a courtesy.
Adam's been through so much on this
Oh,
hole.
it's a
His
courtesy.
left shoe is
Thank you very
falling
much.
apart.
Well, it's not the rule, so yeah, it's courtesy.
Got a 1 foot tap in. He's about 50-50 to make this putt.
No.
He didn't make it. So,
I try to win.
cash your chips, ladies and gents.
All right. Hey.
He actually kissed his ball after making what is
He's not over
likely
yet, sir.
25 to 28 strokes
Look at
on
him,
this
John.
hole.
We had a good thing. Idiot. Watch this putt go in. This is for the sickest kid in the world to feel good for 10 minutes.
I've long since forgotten who might have the lead on this hole.
Nope.
Well,
Why
I
only
think
10
if John
minutes?
keeps
Because he's not going to feel
gunning
good
it by
for a
the
long
whole
time.
5
It's not
feet.
realistic.
Okay.
This could be one of the most
Wants to feel good for 10
grotesque
minutes, you
pushes
can just
in the
take a
history of
painkiller.
this great
Get
game.
addicted.
5 feet for
Right, John.
whatever it
There
is.
you go.
Good putt.
No applause. I think the crowd is so fatigued from how long that hole took.
On hole 15, John outplayed Adam by a whopping 9 strokes. Checking in with the scores, it's 45 over par for John Daly and 55 over par for Adam Scott. Hole 16, 338-yard par 4. The green is fronted by a pond, but there's ample landing area in the fairway and a late dogleg left.
Water hazard on the left. It's about 205.
Already, we're on the 16th tee. John finds himself with a 10-shot lead, which you would think with 3 to go would be insurmountable, but
Not really.
not at all.
Not the way our two stalwarts have been performing.
No, 55 over par. Did you think in your life you would ever see something like this?
Wonder what my predecessor, Gene Sarazen, would say about now. I'm glad I don't have to come back to see that.
This is a devilish little par 4, 338 yards. Daly is going to hit driver here.
Barry, if you can just knock the tee over.
No, for my
you'll hit a
long
good
drive.
shot.
Rip it out, rip it!
No, he didn't. See, the tee's still there.
All right, you're out there, John.
I don't know what he's looking at. It went about 35 yards on the ground. For whatever reason, he actually likes it.
John Adams still has to tee off.
Shut up, man.
There you go.
Eddie, if you're Adam Scott, he finds himself 10 shots back with 3 to go.
Babe Ruth over here calling it. Here it is. Right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Right there, man.
Nice enough to identify his ball for him.
All right.
Switch with it.
You know what? That's not my style. It's more of a daily move.
Oh, you're so graceful. Such a put together man. Women's tee.
There you go.
All things considered, Eddie, that's improvement.
Give him an A for that.
Pretty good.
Did it.
Fresh.
It's a very awkward stance.
4.
Couple that with him having about 4 belts.
Sand bunker.
No!
Uh-oh.
Damn. 145 yards from this hole location today, which is located in the back of this green. Knock it stiff. And he's got a fairway wood. You like this club choice?
I think it's a horrible choice. Don't tell me what kind of... Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Pond.
All right. He is in that hazard.
Take a quick drop.
In the pond.
All right. Found that hazard.
This is already lit, man.
This 10-stroke lead could go right up.
Yeah, 7 iron should be good, nice and easy. Stay away from the water.
That's not exactly the thought you want from your caddy. Right before you strike a shot, stay away from the water.
Not exactly positive.
And John has plenty of green he can work with, playing out to the right.
Damn it! Mother...
Oh, my God.
Shut up!
It just scared the duck right out of the pond.
You know, Eddie, he has been accused of some asinine behavior on the golf course throughout his career.
Whoa, hang on.
This certainly goes on the list, does it not?
You cannot replace that
Well,
club.
it appears the rules official is alerting him that he cannot replace that club.
Well, he just threw the club away intentionally, which means the club, for all intent and purpose, is lost. So he can't ask for a replacement club.
John?
Eddie, he's going into the lake.
No.
It's way out there, John.
He's wading into the middle of this pond. Eddie, he has a lot of sad chapters in his resume. Where does this one rank?
You all right?
It's got to be right at the top, Gary.
He just submerged himself into the middle of this lake. The ducks are flying away.
Yeah!
Hey. Look at that. Found that golf club.
The boys are almost finished on this beautiful hole 17. After a quick wardrobe change, John checked in with his lovely wife, Narita.
Rita, you need a beer or anything?
No, I think maybe I had enough for
Right.
ever. You know, it's like a lot.
Go back to the hotel.
It's okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I don't want you to feel like I'm leaving you, you know?
I don't.
I want to support you.
No, you're being supportive. I understand. This is pretty boring. Boring game. Love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Win, huh?
Okay. Hey, man.
What do you say, John?
How are you?
I'm doing terrific. How are you?
Great.
Well, that's fine.
Doing good. Hey, me and Narita were talking. Maybe we could go out to eat as couples.
That would be just terrific, John. When were you thinking?
Maybe tonight.
We're in.
Get a bite to eat.
I just said we're in. I didn't even check with Poppy. I'm just saying we are in. We would love to.
Well, Poppy seems like she'd want to do it.
Oh, sure. She's very fond of you, too.
Good, yeah. We're fond of you, too. We could pick a good restaurant and then go back to the hotel and maybe watch TV.
That'd be terrific. That would be terrific. I don't know what's on TV tonight in America, but I'm sure there's something very funny and...
Well, they got lots of funny shows, and then they got the dramas.
Well, sure, something heartbreaking, sure.
Or maybe some baseball. We could teach a little something about American sports.
That would be great. I've heard so much about baseball, and I have to admit I've watched a little on TV myself, but I've yet to watch a full game, and I would love to do it with you.
Well, it's the American pastime, and I'd feel honored to introduce it to you as an Australian.
And I would be honored to be introduced to it by you, John.
Well, it's a deal.
Fantastic.
That's just fine.
All right.
All right. You get back to your driving, and I'll get back to mine.
I'll do just that, John.
All right.
Hey, John.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. I'll see you in a couple of seconds.
All right.
That is without question the finest struck ball of the day.
Here's John about to unleash his big drive. He's currently 5 strokes ahead of Adam.
Get a mulligan on that?
He said mulligan, Eddie, but that's a penalty stroke for a lost ball.
He drops 2, shooting 3. He drops 4, shooting 5.
He's just invoked the double mulligan.
He's completely lost his lead, that's for real sure.
With all the lost balls, Eddie, we now have an even match.
Oh, it's a left break? Yeah, I think I'm going to use the wedge here.
John is the first to putt.
Excuse me, guys.
What just happened there, Eddie?
Uh-oh.
He looked like he deliberately kicked Adam Scott's golf ball.
Here's you
He
kicked
was
my
doing
ball.
a casual walk by, and I think his attention was,
Okay, do I need to
driven
call
to
a
one of the
referee?
ladies in the gallery.
Your ball.
Referee?
He did kick the ball.
Yeah, I saw it.
Whether it be on purpose or not.
Here comes the rules official, who's had maybe the longest day of anybody in
John,
the history of...
All right.
Okay. All right.
You got me, baby. You got me.
All right.
We're having fun for charity.
Okay, we are. All right.
This guy's cool, man. All right, fire it up, dickhead.
All right, I guess we'll just take it from where we were.
John's away still, guys.
I think it was a little bit.
Yeah, why don't you tell me? You would know the exact spot from where you kicked it.
Yeah. I kicked it from right there.
Oh, so we just place it wherever we want it.
You want to hit it with your hockey stick cheating putter.
They're trying to determine as he is replacing Adam's ball.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about the 47th handshake of the day after
Make it a good one.
46 confrontations between these two players.
Let's let them hit
Whose
first.
ball is this in the collar? Is that John Daly's ball?
That is John. John is away.
But he is away, and Adam was about to play first.
Eddie, what do you think of this play, him using this wedge? Don't you think it'd be practical to put a putter on the ball from right here?
Without a doubt, he should be putting.
Look at this. Look at this, baby doll. I ain't even going to look at the golf ball.
Caddy has the putter at the ready.
Muscle memory.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh. He
Yeah.
struck it into the back bunker.
Hey, man.
His caddy
I
is
can't believe you made it.
absolutely
I play my game. I
despondent
do
at
my
this
rules.
point.
There's nothing anyone can say.
All right. Here we go.
This is, the door has been swung wide open
See how
for
this
Adam
hockey
at this
stick
point.
works out for me, Daly?
Yeah, it's cheating. You'll probably do a real good putt, but it'll be cheating. So 2 weeks from now, it's not going to count.
This is about an 80-foot putt.
Not
This has
good.
Very, very good speed. And he's going to leave himself about 10 feet
pretty
straight up the hill.
Looked like it was well short, but it rolled and rolled and rolled
We're in the sand.
away from the
Look
mountain
at
slope.
that sander. I don't like how white the sand is against the ball. You can't see the ball. It should be
Eddie, this is a very
less
difficult
white.
bunker shot. He doesn't have an awful lot of green to work with.
less white.
And as you pointed out, he's really struggled in the bunkers today.
Uh-oh.
And that was absolutely horrid.
Temerity
Nice
at
full
work
swing,
there.
John.
And if he sculls it, he's in the ocean.
And he is squandering shot after shot. There's another toss club.
He's exceeded the world record today with toss clubs.
Back in the.
Shut up.
His caddy deserves special
Bunker to bunker.
dispensation for his patience today.
Caddies should be given a scholarship to Harvard or Yale after what they've been through today.
Don't ground your club, John.
Thanks.
His caddy reminds him once more not to ground his club.
What should I
He's
favor
a
him?
caddy. He's
Slap
an instructor. He's a rules official.
Bobby Orr, number
Might move to the
4.
right a little bit.
And this is odd. Adam is playing out of turn.
Oh.
And he's run that by a good 5 feet.
Yeah, that ball turned left at the end, Gary. That's the ocean effect. And his putt coming back should break
Yeah,
right.
mark it. I'll
as
make
a
sure not to
result.
step in your lie or kick a ball.
Good luck with that down there, Daly.
Good luck with your mom.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, that's... It's so futile. It's hard to fathom this man. It's won 2 major championships.
Look at that! shot of the day. A hand match. It went right into the hole.
That shot, you fake golf man. Thanks a lot, man.
His sixth bunker shot, he holds it.
Hand mashing.
You want to do the honors?
This game takes, but occasionally, Eddie, it gives.
How about that?
As he walks directly in Adam Scott's line.
Oh, boy. Adam.
This is one of the strangest
Excuse me, John?
exhibitions of buffoonery I've ever seen.
Not exactly decorum, is it?
That's pretty good.
All right.
Hockey stick. Oh!
Did not.
Oh, my. Eddie, this is a 4-putt at minimum from 10 feet.
Oh, good job, man. It's all for fun.
It's all for charity.
You just 4-putted from 10 feet
We're having a good
and
time.
kissed the ball.
That was great.
Hole 18. Seaside cliffs loom to the left of the wide two-tiered fairway, though the centerpiece of this hole is the tee, an elevated throne overlooking Pacific blue.
We could just hit a diner.
A diner would be fine, John.
Yeah.
I know I've been talking about Mexican food, but I do like a cheeseburger every now and then, and I know Poppy doesn't mind them either.
Yeah, I mean, we could also just plan it later when we're done with the game, and
I guess we could get the wives talking about it. Maybe they could come up with some ideas.
this is hard.
It's very hard.
Look at the bunkers.
Yeah, I mean...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There must be 20 bunkers in that.
Heck, John, why don't you give it a shot?
All right. Well, ain't nothing to do but to
Yep.
hit this ball. Oh, man.
All right, well...
Yeah.
After struggling with the distance, the boys decide to tee off a little closer at the women's tee.
Well, Eddie, gentlemen's agreement that they decided not to play the back tee.
I mean, from over there? Come on.
That's crazy. That's a big distance, man. Back in Dardanelle, we used to have a saying, even blind squirrels get some nuts.
Sure, can you shut up for a second?
That is rolling down the cart path. He's gaining distance with every step.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, another handshake. It all comes down to this. These two men, hard to believe, they're actually tied.
This one's from Rancho Palos Verdes. Oh!
Okay.
Better than Adam.
Yeah,
Better.
Down the fairway.
And he drops his club. And I think this crowd is applauding because it's almost over.
You're a good guy, though.
Yeah, you too, man, I think.
No, there's a certain magic that happens with golf in this time of day. There's just a certain magic. Sometimes things happen that you never expect.
That's a pretty profound statement from someone like John, is it not?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Now he advanced at about
Down there.
18
Could be worse.
yards.
Could be worse. Just kiss it. Just kiss it. Just give it a kiss. Kiss it. Just kiss it.
Oh, mercy.
Uh-oh.
That is,
Thank you.
now Adam has an opportunity to gain an advantage.
Uh-oh.
Oh, now he's absolutely goosed that one. This match is far from over.
Might be the deciding shot, Gary.
And Adam has hit this well past the
Overshot it.
With the out. Oh,
Sit.
my God, he's put it in the ocean.
Set!
That might go all the way off the green if it reaches that one last little false front.
Lucky.
Skilly.
Well, Adam is going ahead and putting and doesn't even touch the hole. 30 feet to win this match. He's left it woefully short. He's halfway to the hole.
We're going the
A little
hole.
harder.
And Adam, who for someone who has won a major championship is putting his ball back down.
Tap in with a hockey stick.
Oh, he barely got it.
Only 8 feet out. Sinking this putt would mean a tie game.
This is just a tap in, right? I don't have to do this?
You should do it.
If John makes
Why would he not have to do this?
this match is complete, Eddie. It's finally over.
It is over.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our charity back nine. John Daly, Adam Scott.
That was all right.
That was a whole lot of fun.
And on behalf of my colleagues Eddie Mehrens and Gary Williams, I can honestly say we've never seen anything like it on any golf course anywhere in the world.
Just want to again thank Mr. Daly for a fine day of golf.
I'm just glad we could do some good for these charities, and, you know, this is the only trophy I need right here.
And our back nine charity winner for this year is Adam Scott, a one-stroke victory over Mr. Daly. And Mr. Scott, as we discussed off the top of the show, received $10,000 to his charity of choice. And our runner-up, Mr. Daly, $5,000 to his charity of choice. And on behalf of everyone at the Charity Back Nine and Trump National Golf Club, we'd like to thank you gentlemen for a very memorable round of golf.
Well, for Adam Scott, for John Daly, Eddie, it's been a pleasure to be with you, the legend that you are. I'm Gary Williams. Until next time, and Lord willing, there won't be a next time. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Gary.